smoking, but when they hear this song, they'll learn there's more to toking. 25,000 different things we can make from it, and if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life, a benefit to all of us, our wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye, so much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Yeah, it's Hemp Works, sure is, and it's time for hemp, it sure is. And tonight we're going to start deviating a bit, because obviously we're a cannabis radio network, and 99% of our content is all about cannabis and various things about cannabis and hemp. But tonight I've got a good friend of mine on. It's called Johnny. And Johnny's really been involved in the fracking stuff, yeah? And that's also, I think, a very important issue that we have at the moment, because as we replace things with hemp, we've got to look at some of the stuff that it's going to replace. And to my mind, fracking is one thing that's got to be stopped yesterday, yeah? So, John, I'm not really a fracking expert, so maybe you could, first of all, hello, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Johnny, I'm fine. So listen, right, you're going to bring us all up to speed now and educate us all a little bit about fracking, yeah? You okay
I will do,
that?
yes. Yeah, I'm good, yes.
Right, let's start with the basics. What's all this fracking about, John?
Well, basically, that they always claim that they've been fracking for decades. But, I mean, I worked 5 years in the oil and gas industry offshore for a New Orleans company, yeah, and in the North Sea off Britain. And we used to pump seawater into the earth to bring out mainly the dregs of oil and gas. That is what they claim is fracking. But now, they want to claim that it's been safe for decades. But now they're got a new thing called slick hydraulic fracturing, right, where they drill about a mile or so down, and then a mile and a half to 2 miles horizontally, within solid shale rock. Now, this rock is the same as you get with slate. It's as heavy and as dense as marble, and they shatter the whole stratum of this rock, yeah, deep down under people's homes, under our drinking water. And you can imagine taking a whole stratum of rock and rendering it down to pebbles and dust, to get the gas out. They use 24 or sometimes even more pumps per well. Now, each of these pumps fills the whole back trailer of a large truck, yeah, and each one is as strong as a passenger jet airliner. So the jet on that. Yeah. So you can imagine the noise, the pollution from just the pumps. But then when they pump down into they pump sand and water to shatter the rock, yeah, to release the gas. And if you can imagine the forces that go down. And also, sorry, I forgot to mention the important thing, they also pump 68 different kinds of chemicals down, and they won't tell us what these chemicals are and what they're doing. They, in the United States, Cheney and Bush managed to get exemption from normal industrial regulations and environmental regulations for the fracking industry, just because they knew how dangerous and deadly it is. And if we did know the full facts, then more people would be against it. So they pump these chemicals. Now, methane is released, that's the gas, yeah, but there are great fissures, holes and cracks under the earth, and the methane can come up, and does come up, into our water, so we can get, the famous you can actually set your water on fire, as they found out in Pennsylvania and Ohio and various other places.
Yeah, they done a film on that, didn't they?
Yes, and I've met him, Josh Fox. He was nominated for the Oscar.
Yeah.
And he nearly got it. But the film is brilliant. He's done a follow-up film as well.
What was that called, Joe? What was that called?
Called Gasland, and then Gasland 2.
Gasland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that, and I must admit that was a bit of an eye-opener for me. That was a bit like, whoa, what are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the nicest chaps you'll ever meet, and he was, and he inherited a nice bit of land in Pennsylvania, and then they came wanting to frack, and instead of saying, "Oh yeah, give me the money," he thought, "No," he researched it, and he talked to his neighbours about it, and he filmed them, just as you do, to see their reactions. And then he just went travelling around the country with his banjo, which he plays superbly, and talking to different people and filming them. And then he made an Oscar-nominated film. Brilliant man. And you said it was an eye-opener, Steve.
For me, certainly, I think that was my first. I've seen a little bit of, because I'm cannabis, right? That's what I do. And I know there's lots of other stuff that goes on out there. I only follow certain stories like the sort of chemi trials and the harp stuff. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert in it, but I do sort of watch these videos and think, my God, there's a lot going on out there. But I'm fortunate enough, I know people like you that are experts in your own field. So I sort of rely on your downloads and your media to know that what you actually print, it's factual stuff rather than just sort of like, oh my God, they're going to destroy the world tomorrow. Because,
but that's the great thing.
Can I just clear one thing? I mean, a lot of people might say that you're a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but the stuff that you talk about, yours is all pretty much fact-based, isn't it? You've done the homework.
Yeah, that is exactly why we can't help but win. It's just a question of time, Steve, because, I mean, I actually don't believe a lot of the conspiracy theories, but I'll tell you that the oil and gas industry love conspiracy theories because it distracts people from the real issues.
I bet.
The oil and gas industry has been running the world for over a century.
Yeah.
They started wars. They've actually toppled elected leaders. They've destabilized countries. They manipulate the world economy, through petrodollars and whatever. Yeah. And here they've gone a bridge too far. Normally it's been like when I worked offshore, we were about 90 to 100 miles offshore. Nobody knew how many poor souls were being killed, mutilated, and their lives ruined.
Yeah.
And but now they've actually coming and they're drilling under people's homes, under our schools, hospitals, under our roads. They've caused 2 earthquakes, in Lancashire, and they even admitted it. And that was the first time they fracked, and immediately they started 2 small earthquakes, enough to crack people's brickwork and plaster. But they say, oh, it's nothing. It's just like a truck passing in your house. But the thing is that the government and the fracking industry are lying. They have nothing except bull products on their side, and yet we have facts. We have, if ever you Google list of the harmed, you can add Pennsylvania, you will get over 6,000 stories by individuals and families who have been physically harmed, been made ill, or have been driven out of their homes, or have in some way been really, really severely harmed.
Yeah.
And yet they keep telling us in this country that, oh no, there's never been any problems, there's never been anybody hurt by it. But there's cattle dying, there's birds falling out of the sky in great numbers. Wherever they are, whenever they release this methane, whenever they do their fracking, people get hurt and harmed. And Australia has been superb. Tens of thousands of people turned up to Bentley and just camped around the site, and so they had to withdraw from the site and say that they gave up.
Because a bit like with us in the cannabis movement, this is worldwide, isn't it? This is not just something that's happening in a small village down the road from me. No. This is a worldwide thing that I saw that stuff from the First Nations up in Canada, where they've gone one further. They've gone for this tar sanding, which is oh my God! When I saw photographs of that's like straight out of the Lord of the Rings film.
Oh no, that is like Mordor. You're right. If you want to picture it, think of Mordor. Yes,
Mordor. That's exactly what I saw when I saw that. It's
well, the
just
thing
like,
is,
I mean, fracking is something else, but this tar sanding to follow onto it, they literally just rip the skin of the earth off.
I know, and that tar sand is a filthy, thick sludge. And they're piping it through conventional oil pipelines that can't take it.
They're going to bust. So what do you think their coup is? I mean, what?
Well, it's a Ponzi scam, Steve. The only people that make money are the ones that get the license.
Right.
And the people come in and they get mug investors, even banks and pension funds invest in it. And the thing is that they sell off the license, when the stream is strong at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then that they get out and go and mess up some other community. Yeah. And when the problems start coming in, the new license holders get all the grief.
So it's a bit, Ponzi scheme. It's a bit like what they done with the mortgages, all the subprime. They sell it to people all the time that can't really afford it, and then when the clean-up bill comes, they do a runner.
Exactly.
That's what it's called, isn't it? Rip off a scalper.
Ask yourself, how can they afford to do this horizontal drilling? When you do conventional drilling, like we do in the North Sea or whatever, you drill down, you let the gas come up, you process, clean it, and pump it away. It's straightforward. But the way that the fracking can operate, the only way, is because it's been given in Britain half the tax of ordinary industry. They get grants, subsidies.
Yeah.
They get exempted from regulations to make it feasible.
Yeah. So, right, you're a clever guy as well. Let's move it one stage forward. Obviously, we need energy. Unless we all go back to living in the cave tomorrow, which I can't really see happening, we're going to need energy.
Oh, yes.
And I know that there is certainly, I don't even like to use the word alternative. There is other forms of energy out there.
Oh, yes.
So can we produce enough energy in this country without taking this fracking road? Is this...
Oh, yes,
because it seems to be what the government says, isn't it? That they've got to take this road for fuel security. I personally don't agree with them, but you're the expert in this. Is this a...
Well, the thing is, Steve, that Germany's got 70% of their energy, and that's a big, massive economy.
Yeah,
70% of their energy comes from solar, wind, and other forms of energy.
Yeah.
And we could conceivably work towards that very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the work they're doing up in Scotland on wave and tidal energy sources is brilliant. We could put many more solar panels, many more wind turbines up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got loads of wind, and even though we think we don't get sun. The sun is such a massive, powerful ball of energy, and it doesn't worry about clouds. We actually get loads and loads of energy off the sun anyway.
Of course
it doesn't matter about clouds at all.
Right.
But the thing is that they are subsidising the filthy fossil fuels when they could be spending a lot more money on finding different, cleaner alternatives.
Yeah. I think you know, Johnny, from my scrappy's challenge to them. They have a field and I have a field. I grow a field of hemp, and they can do what they want in a fracking field, and I will produce more clean oil year on, year out, from now to the end of time, than they'll ever be able to produce. And then you can decide as the general public whether you want to live next to a hemp field or a fracking field. I know what my choice would be. And nobody's ever picked me up on that. And I know the figures. I've done the figures.
Well, you're the expert on that. No, that hemp, the old hemp and rope, most clothes were made of hemp, and they lasted longer and they were stronger. Yeah.
But from the seed alone, I can produce enough oil per hectare than they can produce per hectare on fracking.
Oh, of course and you won't be harming anybody.
Well, in fact, it will benefit, but that's another story. It will cause a cascade effect.
You know the old saying, Steve?
Yeah.
Good rope, bad dope. Bad dope, good rope. You know, you can either grow it for making things, or you can make it to get high. You know, the two can't be done in the same plant.
No, it can't actually. No, growing it for the an agricultural crop for an industrial end purpose. In this case, it would be oil for burning. Yeah, I mean that's what we're after. Then that's what we would grow for. We would grow for seed, and we would be growing a beautiful crop of seed that we could then produce the oil from. And even with that, because the plant stems themselves are cellulose, it's 87% cellulose. So through steam distillation, we can turn that cellulose into methanol and ethanol, which is clean burning rocket fuel. So it's hands down. That's what I'm saying. With when you put in the solar, and you put in the wind and the water and all the other, and the Tesla engines and all these other amazing energy sources that we have, I just don't get fracking. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, the thing is, we shouldn't do anything that we can't control. This is my argument against nuclear. You know, once that goes wild, that goes wrong. We watched it. We watched it in horror while they ineptly tried to... And we know their line about Fukushima. It's still dangerous.
Yeah.
They should have moved every female away immediately, because every female little baby girl is born with all the eggs she'll ever have in her life. When at her birth, she's got them.
Yeah.
And of all the countries in this world, Japan should be the world's expert on genetic defects because of radiation.
Yeah.
And yet they were so busy saving face. This is why I'm so against technology. I mean, I love technology. I'm a bit of a geek with technology, but we shouldn't be doing things that we can't control.
Yeah.
If you can't fix it, don't do it. and look at that time in Deepwater Horizon in the Gulf of Mexico, where we watched on our televisions for week after week, month after month, while they farted around trying to control it.
Yeah.
And they couldn't. And they've cracked the actual mantle of the earth, you know, and it's still seeping out, the oil and the methane.
Yeah.
And they've ruined really good beaches in Alabama and Louisiana and Texas.
Yeah.
And and really wrecked the lives of people and killed loads of lovely sea creatures.
They have
and birds.
They have.
You know, I mean, it's just out of order.
Yeah, they don't have a very good history at all, do they? Any of these big oil or energy producers. You know, it's always, whenever you look at the history of them, they're always leaving a complete mess behind that they just have no interest besides spending money on publicity.
Well, if you want to scare yourself...
we're going to take a break now, 25. We're going to pay the adverts, the sponsors. We love the sponsors. And then we'll be straight back on in 4 minutes. Cheers.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinic clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Even Prince Charlie has a high regard for weed. He recommends it to MS sufferers who are in desperate need. It's medicinal, it's pure, and it helps to ease the pain. And if you're feeling down, my friend, it'll pick you up again. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Right, everybody, I hope you've all been to the donate button and donated some money for Time for Hemp, because it's rent day. So off you go and make yourself feel good. Press the donate button. Give $1 from you and $1 from your dealer. I'm taxing all the dealers this month. So listen, right, this fracking nonsense. I hate fracking, by the way. Right, I know a little bit about it, but I really hate it. It's so insidious. And I live near that Volcom, and I know a few of the people down there that have been going down there and protesting, and they're all good people, and they're all sort of mates of mine, and I know that they don't get involved with stuff that's not fucking, well, right stuff, but wrong stuff. Yeah, so when they hit, I mean, I noticed when they hit down there, you know, some of these. So what happens to these communities? They get really sort of ripped up, don't they? When these.
Well, I mean, the human cost is quite high. I mean, not only the fracking damage, but mostly it's done in rural communities because it'd be difficult for them to do them in the centre of London or Manchester. But
yet,
when they come to these rural communities,
yeah.
I mean, I've got to admit that I had 5 years working offshore. When we went ashore, we wrecked everything. We got drunk. We drove too fast.
Yeah.
We got into loads of fights. And the thing is that wherever you get single men, which a lot of the rigging crews are, or at least they're away from their wives or partners, and you get and they've got loads of money in their pocket. You get the drug dealers, not the good ones, the bad ones. You get the sex workers and petty criminals all following the money.
Yeah.
So it devastates, a village like Balcombe or Upton in Chester. Whenever they hit, it wrecks the community. But the worst thing is that all the water has to be trucked in. So you get tens of thousands of truck journeys bringing water, sand, chemicals, rigging equipment. And they wreck the roads. They don't care about the roads.
Trucks, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. And see, these rural roads are not built for 18-wheelers.
No.
And the 12-wheelers. So they make potholes. Now, if you're a cyclist or a motorcyclist, even worse, you hit one of those, you are killed. Yeah. If you're in an ordinary light family car and you hit one of those trucks or a pothole wrecks your suspension and drives you into the into the other side of the road, then you are killed. But and then there's all the illnesses, the strange illnesses. I recommended earlier that people look up List of the Harmed. You can put Pennsylvania in as well, and that will get you to a list of 6,085 so far and rising. I mean, I'll just take one here. Jennifer Gorley of Westmoreland County in Pennsylvania. The gas facility is gas production and exposure is water and air. Health issues, chemical hypersensitivity, toxic level chemicals in her body.
Yeah.
And Jared and Heather McMinnon in Bradford County, Pennsylvania, by the Chesapeake gas well. And she's got a lot of illnesses, headaches, and various other things, and also neurological damage that the hospital hasn't been able to find where she got it.
To these fracking sites, and before they were like healthy, and now they're not very healthy. Is that correct?
So they're just ordinary people. With the usual sort of ailments, suddenly start getting more. And people in nearby and people far away get the same symptoms.
Oh, and that's all sort of medically. So what happened? Did they get paid out on insurance or something?
Well, this is the thing that we've got 6,085 so far, but most people don't complain, because if you want some sort of compensation, they don't offer very much. You have to sign a non-disclosure thing saying that you will never talk about it to anybody. It was so absurd that it even includes the young children in the family. So a 5-year-old in the family who talks about fracking is actually breaking the law.
Oh.
See, once you sign this non-disclosure thing, which you have to do to get even the paltry compensation, but some people, over 6,000 of them, have actually refused to have the compensation and have told their stories on this list of the harmed.
That's a lot of people, isn't it?
Don't like to make a fuss. So the fact that there's 6,000, it's only the tip of the iceberg. There's hundreds of thousands more.
And I suppose that would be ongoing, won't it? Because
yes,
they've not actually stopped fracking, have they?
No, I mean, if somebody gets damage to their bodies, then they're more liable to get cancers. And I mean, there's documented cases in Australia where that they went round to farmers, the fracking companies, and said, because dust is a big problem on their roads because it's so dry, that they will wet down their roads free of charge.
Yeah, that's nice.
And they put their nice of them because it's their wastewater.
Oh.
And that was running into that. They call their water catchment areas where they store their ponds. We call them ponds. They call them dams, and the children swim in there. And a lot of these children got really severe skin rashes and sore eyes and running eyes. So they can't swim in the water, and of course they don't want to use it to feed cattle because the cattle get ill and the sheep. So, these firms, instead of trucking their water and having it treated, were just spreading it on people's roads, their farm roads. But the thing is, the one thing I learned more than anything working in the oil and gas industry is that they lie. The whole thing is run on lies. They lie to the media, they lie to the public, they lie to government, they lie to inspectors, they lie to each other, and they lie to themselves. You just really cannot trust them. Their bottom line is they want profit. And I saw a lot of good friends of mine killed, mutilated offshore because we had no safety regulations.
No, because you was offshore.
Yeah, because we were more than 3 miles offshore, so that meant we weren't under the Factories Act. Yeah. We weren't self-propelled, so we didn't come under, because we were dragged everywhere by tugs. Yeah. So we were under maritime regulations. Oh. And nobody ever came to inspect us. No. And we had a lot of men killed. I was working 25 days a month with 5 days off, 15 to 18-hour days.
Wow.
And I mean, you get a lot of men tired, under pressure, living in tight little cabins with helicopters landing, boats bumping in the side, welders' machines going, the water-making machines roaring away 24 hours. It's nothing but noise and men in big boots walking along the corridors all day and all night. And you get men working 25 days, 15, 18 hours. We had loads and loads of accidents. Yeah. The highest accident rate in the country. Because, we're construction sites, we're rigs, and we're in the middle of a dangerous sea. The Scots fishermen call it the Widowmaker. Yeah. Because the winds built and seas build up so quickly. And we're there working away in that environment, under pressure, lack of sleep, and they call all the foremen pushers. That's the American term for them. Yeah. And they just push and push and push.
But tell me something, right? I was born in that era when that Thatcher came in and they found all that gas and oil up in the North Sea. And I remember the government, they go, oh, that's it, we've got enough gas and oil now for the next 20 generations. We're going to be, we'll have fuel for the next 150 years and we're going to be all right. What happened to all that? Where did it all go?
Well, they lied. They always overestimate. Right. No surprise. They always overestimate so they can get in the mug investors and they can get the government to get all excited and wet themselves and give them loads of grants and subsidies, tax breaks and all that. And also, when Harold Wilson came in to power, there was what they called a flight of capital. Yeah. Banks and major industries took money out so they couldn't be socialist. Yeah. So Wilson, and to his shame, Tony Benn was actually Minister for Energy. Yeah. They didn't inquire too deeply how it was being done offshore. So we didn't have any unions, we didn't have any inspections, we didn't have any protection. We were just out there digging the oil out as fast as we could.
All right, well, we have to leave it there and do the next break, Johnny.
All right, okay.
Okay, here we go for the next break. Take it away,
Yes.
Casper.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP cardholder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Out of time, there's no point in worrying, no wondering what to do, cause the answer's in the colour green, it's shining through and through. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis, it's a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed. Cannabis, cannabis.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to save the planet with cannabis, yeah? So the frackers can fuck off, the chemo industry can go kill itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're going to make this a green, nice planet to live on with the cannabis plant. Doing nice.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Steve. We've got the ingenuity, the intelligence, experience, and the resources to make this whole planet a heaven on earth. But instead, we made it a hell for nearly everybody.
I know. And we're having to sit here convincing people this is a heaven on earth. Hello, read your book. Even Jesus said something along those lines.
Well, we've got plenty of. I mean, it's sad to say that in India, there's about 60 to 70% of food is actually thrown away because they haven't got refrigeration. Now, if we can get cheaper energy sources, and they start getting serious refrigeration in, and then, the 60 or 70% of all their food would be evenly distributed, and there would be no poverty.
Well, Johnny, I'll bring it closer to home. We've got people starving in the UK at the moment, so until we sort
that is true.
Yeah.
And look at the food banks.
I know.
That's a growth industry. It's so tragic, isn't it?
It's so tragic.
Did you see that thing where they've got spikes outside doorways so the homeless can't sleep?
Absolutely.
So isn't that evil?
Can we move it back to the fracking? Yeah,
we certainly can.
It is. There's so many. Once a week now, I'm going to try and invite somebody else on that opens up not just the cannabis, but brings in other stories like you do, like the fracking, and we're going to cover some of this other stuff because it's happening everywhere. It's a global issue, and it's got to stop. And we've got an international radio station where we're going to start promoting some of these bloody stupidity things that are going on out there.
Good on
so
you,
with this fracking malarkey, this nonsense. So where are we at in the UK at the moment? Are they still fracking?
Well, they're proposing to do it at the moment. They've issued the licences, virtually the whole country. Now,
oh, country. Right. Where's the safe spot? Where should I move to?
Well, really, there's very few places. You see, but the worst thing is, on this evening, I mean, it was on this evening's BBC News, and if you go to the BBC website, you can put in fracking in their search box, and you'll come to this. That the aquifers where our drinking water is underground is the same places where the shale rock is.
Right.
So, I mean, if we poison our water... Now, an aquifer isn't just like a tank of water. No. It spreads all over the place.
Yeah.
And if you poison one part of it, you poison a lot. Anybody who's ever lived here knows that this is a very soggy place. We have a lot of rain, and we have a lot of water underneath the earth, and a lot of our geology is sandstone, limestone, chalk. A lot of it is very porous.
Yeah.
So this water spreads virtually under all of our country, except in really dense basalt places. So if you poison one aquifer, it can spread to many others, spread to our rivers, to our lakes. And if we've got poisoned water, and we can't, it's absolutely impossible to unpoison it.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
the guy from Nestle said not long ago, drinking water is not a human right. Yeah. They really line themselves up to drinking water. So in sum, look, we know this fracking is really bad for all the technical reasons of all the things it's going to do. So if they're still fracking, what is the fracking movement doing to stop them? And what do people need to do to help them poisoning our fucking England?
Well,
basically, what do we need to do? Because this can't happen.
Well, there's loads of things that people can do. I mean, the most important thing is to go to wherever they're going to frack.
Yeah.
And putting your bodies there, and actually, standing up and making it difficult or hopefully impossible to work.
Yeah.
The other thing is to keep writing to MPs, councillors, parish councillors, anybody that you elect, and asking them what their stance is on it. if we get enough people writing and phoning and emailing these people, some of them might start thinking. I know it's a long shot to getting a politician to think, but we might do it.
Well,
The other thing is, if you're on social media like Facebook, just put fracking in the search box at the top, and you'll find hundreds and hundreds. I've catalogued about 700 different sites fighting the fracking. Join that, you'll get all the information, you'll be able to chat to people, ask questions, and learn about it.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, we're getting loads of celebrities. You know, the guy that plays Hulk, Ruffalo, Vivienne Westwood, Sean Lennon, and Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
You know, there's more and more people coming over and recognising. And Private Eye, the magazine, is always doing. There's a guy, Old Sparky, in it. He calls himself Old Sparky. Is always pointing out the dangers in that.
Yeah.
You know, slowly but surely, it's becoming an issue. And one thing that you'll like, Steve, is whenever they mention fracking, they always say controversial. So that shows that we've actually changed the agenda. That people are not thinking
controversial subject.
This great wonder thing. Yeah. They're saying, "Oh no, it's the controversial process."
Yeah. And how many of these politicians in Westminster have got their hands in the pie? Who
Exactly.
Can we name yeah.
Well, the thing is, the oil and gas industry has been very clever. They've been doing this for over a century.
Yeah.
They fund political parties. They fund individual candidates. They offer directorship to retired and serving politicians. So, I mean, it's the way they get into the universities. All geology departments, petrochemical departments, engineering, civil engineering departments.
Yeah.
The professor gets into what they call education business partnerships.
Yeah.
And if that's removed, that professor's looking at losing, 18 lecturers, losing work experience for his students.
They've sold their souls.
Yeah. And every now and again, the oil and gas industry has a so-called conference, and they'll put it in Hawaii or Los Angeles or somewhere. Yeah. So all these professors and movers and shakers will go to these lovely conferences, and if they do anything naughty, it's photographed and they're blackmailed.
Of course they are.
You know, I mean, there is no blow too low that they won't sink to.
Yeah.
They get what they want.
What you're saying there about the oil and gas industry is pretty much the same as what's happened in the medical industry.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Steve, in all of these things, like you mentioned, the medical industry and the chemo and all the other cons, we have the internet. We're no longer alone. We're no longer, as you were with your medical problems. No. You weren't a single person trying to fight a great big thing.
No.
Whatever's happening to me, I can tell people in Alabama, in Sydney, in Melbourne. I can tell people in South Africa, and they can tell me, and we can put it onto our social media, and we can reassure. 5 years ago, when I started the site, I was spending my time doing virtually counselling. Lonely people who felt that nobody really saw what was happening and that nobody else even knew about it. And then suddenly now, I'm restraining some people from endangering themselves, the things they want to do. But at one time, it was a lot of lonely people who could see what was happening but didn't feel supported. Now, we've got millions of people. Look at the countries. We've got France, we've got Germany maybe banning it. We had Bulgaria banned it. Romania did ban it, but they've reneged because of Chevron money.
Yeah.
We've got something like 70 communities and towns in New York State have banned it. The state of Vermont in America has banned it. The state of Victoria in Australia has banned it. Morgantown, New Jersey, Quebec, massive cities have banned it. There's cantons in Switzerland have banned it. 5 counties in Ireland banned it. and Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland are on moratoriums on it. You know, we're actually changing whole countries, cities, communities, counties, regions. There are hundreds of communities in Spain that have banned it or put moratoriums on it. You know, we will win, but we want to do it as quickly as possible before anybody's hurt.
Absolutely. I think, again, bringing it back to our play, we're seeing states now and countries legalised for the cannabis industry.
Oh, yes.
They're dropping as fast now because, again, we know that it works and we want and we want it now because it's pointless waiting.
Exactly. Well, you know yourself that everyone that does do a ban or does legalise, then that makes it more likely to get the next one. And then when you've got two, that makes it even more likely to get five, and five makes you a dozen. You know, each person should do what they can in their own village, their own area, their own borough, and just change the whole world. You know, one step at a time. We can do it.
We can do it, of course we can, because we don't really have any alternative, because the alternative that they're offering is not an alternative, is it?
Yeah. You know the old saying, the only way to encourage evil things is for good people to do nothing.
Yes, now you've learnt it's time to stand up and do something. We have a saying in our industry about the real crime is learning about cannabis and not telling anybody. No, that's the real crime, because once you've learned about our stuff, you've got to start telling people.
Yeah, we've all got to go into our town centres on one nice sunny day, and everybody in the country who smokes, smoke in public. Yeah, they can't press millions of us.
Again, with us, it's not just about the recreational side; it's about the medicinal side and the medicine, and it's also about the ecology and the support of the ecology and the sustainability. The smoking side of our industry is actually quite a very small one, and it's the one that's always got the most publicity. But there is a whole industry behind that, and I don't just mean about the pipes and the vaporizers. The medical side of it now, it's medicine. People need it. The largest system in your body is an endocannabinoid system, and you ask your doctor what your endocannabinoid system is, and he will look at you blank. That's the largest system in your body, and your doctor doesn't even know about it.
I know people with multiple sclerosis, it's a lifesaver, a literal lifesaver.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver.
And it makes their lives 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
You know, we're going
to help to beat the frackers too, because as I say, we need fuel, and this is one of the beautiful plants that can give us the fuel to run our planet on. It's the feedstock. And all that will attract is not lorries, but the birds and the bees and the rabbits and the deer, and it will all come back to life again. And
those poor animals are dying.
Yeah, they're
and you'll find small mammals, insects, birds, all dead. I mean, Josh Fox showed that in Gasland, in Alabama, I believe it was. Loads and loads and loads of dead animals around. You know, large like foxes.
It's like Agent Orange, isn't it? When they sprayed Agent Orange, it doesn't just kill the plant they're looking for; it kills everything.
Oh, I know the cancers that the troops got from handling it.
Yeah, and countries where they've used it as a pesticide, they've used it in countries as standard pesticide, and it was Agent Orange. It's the same with fracking. They frack. It's not just a little hole in the ground that it affects. It affects the whole area and all the life in that area.
Well, you know, the first thing we'll die without is air, and the second thing is water. Now, you mess up the water, and there are millions of people who will die, absolutely die. And then, of course, more will die fighting for water.
Yeah, you can't live without water.
Oh, no, I mean, that's the second thing you know about.
Yeah, you know it. So that site that I see you on, what's the Facebook page you got there?
Oh, it's Fracking Hell. Fracking Hell UK, that's in brackets the UK, but Fracking Hell UK is nearly 12,000 members. It's one of the largest sites on fracking in the world, and what I do is I get information from everywhere, although it's got the UK in it. In fact, we've got loads of correspondents and members from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, all around Europe, and all over the United States. And we share information. Any good news, bad news, indifferent news goes on there. All links to the latest academic research, to physicians. The Lancet has come out against fracking, the medical journal. And there's so many sources for information, and anybody who sits down and objectively looks at the evidence comes to one conclusion, and one conclusion only, that fracking should not happen. And whenever you look at any of the things that the fracking industry turns out on the oil and gas industry, there's no evidence with theirs. They just say, oh, these claims are wrong. They just poo-poo our complaints, but they never come up with any, because they know they have no evidence.
There's no evidence.
So they keep
taking it back to us. It's the medical industry. They've got no evidence now. We have all the scientific evidence to prove that we do work, and they've got nothing. Nothing at all.
So all they can do is make is to call you names and just dismiss your claims.
Exactly.
But the thing is that we haven't got claims. I shouldn't have said that. We have evidence.
And we have human rights to be able to live on a clean planet. Thank you very much.
God, yes.
So that's right. By the way, I just wanted to say to everybody that hasn't been to any fracking sites that the Fracking UK site that's the one that I sort of keep in touch with, and I've got to tell you, the information up there, I've checked some of it, it's all good information, it's all been checked, it's all pretty much factual at the time of going to press. And if you want to know anything about fracking, it's certainly a good site to go to, because it really does cover the whole spectrum of it. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It does indeed. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to while you're there?
Oh, yeah, there's also Biff, BIFF, a very good page, it's a Facebook page. That's Britain, Ireland, Frack Free. That's an excellent one. There's but if you put fracking in the Facebook search bar at the top, you'll find loads of them. And if you put fracking and the area you live in, whether it's in Britain, like you put in Sussex or Hampshire or Yorkshire, Norfolk or wherever, you will find your local fracking group.
Yeah.
So, and your own local page. We've got hundreds of pages in Britain alone. But if you're abroad, you can do it in Pennsylvania, Ohio. You can do it in Melbourne, Sydney, and anywhere you live.
Yeah.
Around the world, because this is, as you say, a worldwide movement.
It's a global thing. It's the same as us. It's global. So now we all need to start joining up. We learn about each other's industries, and then we fight the good fighters, as they say. Because frackers can fuck off, and as I say, the chemo industry can go and poke itself in the eye with a chemo stick, because that doesn't work either. That's just a fucking load of bloody money-making people. So there we go. Right, we got to shut it down. Well, listen, thank you for coming on. You've been a marvellous guest and invited to talk about the fracking. And so anybody out there that needs to know, go to one of those sites that Johnny mentioned. They're great sites. And again, it's another one of the issues. We need to learn about all these issues that are going on our planet. If we're going to do anything about it, it's time to open our eyes and accept that there's some stuff out there that we really do have the power to change if we stand together. Bless you all. Love you.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Thanks very much, Steve.
You're welcome. Take care.